Hey, Chris. You're early. Hi, love. It's just you and me. We're the first. Love you. All right. So you're muted right now.
I'm on now.
Yeah.
You know, Susie, I think about you all the time. Can you hear me?
You're gonna make me cry already.
I remember being at that Deepak Chopra session. I mean, I don't know how many dozens of years ago, 12, 15 years ago. And you were called on stage. And I fell in love with you the moment you opened your mouth. It's all gonna be good.
I know. It's all love. It's all love. And you've been with me from
It's your show. I'm gonna mute myself again.
You don't have to. We have time. You know, we're going to give people some time to gather. I think it's going to be a rather large calling. And
well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go
Can
ahead.
You still hear me?
Yeah.
We've been through a lot, and the best is to come. That's all I can say.
I know, honey. I know. I see it very clearly now, and it feels like smooth sailing from here on out.
Well,
so
it'll be directed sailing. It'll be inspired sailing. It may not always be smooth.
I know.
But we'll get to our destiny.
Well, it does feel like it's just lighter now. It's a lot easier now. And
yeah. How's your mom? How's your mom doing?
Oh, honey. She's still here. But it's really, it's moment to moment, you know. My sister's going to be here within an hour. She's flying in. Yeah, I can really, I went for a walk this morning, and I could actually feel her with me. So she's halfway out and about, and she's looks clear today. Her eyes are open, and she's not in any pain. And so we're just, we talk to her every moment we get. I tell her she's gonna be at the captain's chair of the mothership, and she's gonna see heaven on earth, and what we've all created from a beautiful point of view. And she can flow through us and talk to me, and, you know, give me some clues. And yeah, I think she's starting to realize her role.
If my personal experience can be of any value to you, my parents have both passed in the last 10 years. Yeah. And my relationship with both of them is closer now than ever was.
Wonderful. Wow. Wonderful.
Along with other, you know, icons of my spiritual universe. And they're there, their energy is so powerful. Yeah. You know, the Chinese had ancestor worship. The ancestors were essentially comfortable ways in which to relate to a God that we don't understand.
Yeah.
You could more easily understand it through an ancestor.
Yes.
So I use my parents as portals.
Yes.
You know, I meditate 4 or 5 hours a day. I use my parents as portals to go into a deeper meditation. And for you, your mom and dad will serve that purpose easily,
sure.
Wonderfully, lovingly.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. What a great way to prepare us. Some more, we have one visitor. There'll be plenty more joining us. Thank you for everyone who's coming in. And Chris, thanks for helping me, you know, get really grounded. And yeah, I agree with you. I'm more connected to my father in the last 2 years, and I know I'll be even more connected to mom as she makes her way. So, Chris, how long have we known each other? Just for the record here,
15 years,
15 years?
maybe?
Yeah, 10, yeah, about 15. Yeah, as people join, I just want them to see you and acknowledge you being an investor in the founding of Token of Me. Roger that.
A
And
very small investor in terms of money, but a big investor in terms of love.
yes, so much love. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Chris. So for Chris, you were already in the investor meeting last week. Some of the beginning will be a replay. I will publish this video publicly when we're done. I'll edit and take out anything that I have to. But yeah, we're gonna make this our first public video of our team meeting. There we go. So if you're coming on just now, we're just waiting, giving everybody enough time to join us. Thanks for coming early. And Zenka, nice to see you.
Yeah, how's it going? How's your mom doing today?
Oh, she's still doing. Chris just asked me, and I'll talk about her a little bit. She's
All right.
She's physically still in her body, and really her eyes are open today, and they're clear.
Oh.
And I asked if you're in any pain to blink, squeeze tight, and there was no squeezing. And I brought a kitten. I have plenty of kittens with me now, and I bring a kitten to her every day, and she actually kissed it. She moved her lips to kiss it, and then she gave me a kiss. So she hasn't been very conscious for about 5 days. And the last time I felt her was when I cleared her throat, the mucus that's coming out, and I put my ear to her mouth just to hear, and she surprised me. She actually kissed my ear. Oh my God. It was so heart melting. So yeah, she's, she's in between worlds, right? She's at that jumping off point right now. And when she's awake, I just get to focus on her magnificence, the creation of herself. And she's coming, more fully into that creation, and telling her there's no death, and she's basically going to heaven on earth, and she'll be able to see what we see, but just from a much more beautiful vantage point without any resistance. According to Esther Hicks and Abraham, death is just the letting go of all resistance. And so she's, gonna have a beautiful homecoming. So that's what I've been focused on very presently in my waking moments. And today I'm just thrilled to get to share what's happening for all of us that's going to affect all of you. And I'm just feeling very full with my heart, very full. And, of course, there's tears sometimes when I, for a moment, have some residual resistance to let go of, but it's very light. The truth is light, and can feel that. So yeah, I got a lot of exciting things to share with you guys today. I'm just not gonna give people probably about 3 or 4 more minutes to join. But yeah, Zenka, I'll probably have you talk a little bit. Shauna is with us. She's going to talk a little bit. We have some very exciting new people joining us. There are actually some people who were in the audience in Los Angeles when I gave my pitch. Of course, I had no insight on who it was. They wouldn't let me invite anyone. Not one person was allowed to come with me. So but there was a very beautiful outpouring of public interest from the audience. And many of these people found me on Instagram and said, wow, I love it. I'm in. How do I get in? And some of them got in fast enough and are going to be on this call. And I'm going to have at least one of them tell you what she experienced from, from the audience of a live pitch before the rest of the world gets to hear it. And I think that will really help everyone get a sense of what we're on the edge of, what's really behind us and inside us and going to be bursting out. And yeah, because you're the ones that we want to be ready for this with the soul compass. All right. So yeah, it gives people some time. Oh, yep, Andrea is here. Yay. All right. Andrea, I was just talking about you. She was one of there she is. She's coming. Okay, good. Asked to unmute. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. There. Hi, are you there, Andrea? Can you unmute?
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Where are you in Los Angeles?
I am.
Super. Hey, well, people are going to be streaming in. It's a worldwide call. We have people from every continent. I just got done telling those who are the early birds that you would be joining us. And yeah, I would love it if you would just, before I tell them anything, let's just hear it from you. What did you experience being in the audience of the Unicorn Hunters when this crazy lady came on stage?
Well, I don't believe in luck. I know I was meant to be there. I didn't know why exactly, but I was very pleasant surprise. When the second Unicorn Act they announced was you, they just said it would be like NFTs.
That's
and
it.
I thought to myself, yeah, that's like, oh, it's something with NFTs. And I thought to myself, it's not really, I don't know much, but of course you always can learn something from it. So, but I thought it was like financial related, something, usual. And when you walked in on the stage and you sat down on the floor, you took your time. I don't know if you were nervous or you're giving time for yourself, but then I understood there was a purpose that you were doing that. And then you got up and you start talking. And I just remember in the first few seconds, you said, we're going to do it's about your heart and brain coherence. And then I was like, oh, that's my jam. I know this language. I might not know NFTs, but I know that language. And then you put together explaining about, that, let me put a little bit. I'm a very spiritual person. I follow a lot of gurus, so I know that language. And when you start talking, it really resonated with me. I was like, okay, but where is this going? Where is this going? How we can share this with the world? And then you explain through the software that you can measure have several measurements that you can see your level of flow, your happiness, how much, joy you're having. And I truly believe that this is our best. And for some reason, we lost throughout our lifetimes through false beliefs, or the life caught on you, or you don't believe that you are. I think the most challenging thing for people nowadays is to recognize and believe that the power is in you, is not outside of you, is not that pill, is not that, all the other things. You have the power inside of you. And if we can bring that power, it's everything.
That's it. Wow. And so it worked out pretty fortuitously. They took me off stage and then they asked the audience, it was time to go. And all of a sudden a whole bunch of you just started streaming by me, and it was just like high fives and, you know, handshakes and a lot of love. And I think you, like, I just felt compelled to hug you.
I was hoping you would be there, you know, but usually, you know, they hide the famous, the people, you know, so don't distract or whatever. I was not, I had the desire. I was like, I wish I can tell her how amazing this was. And there you were. And I said, I need to hug you. And I felt so good. And I was like shaking. I was like, this is it. I was like, you translated, or you found a way to share with the world massive that this is it, you know, that's the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. This is it.
So
thank you. Wow.
Thank you. I was very emotional. I was very emotional. Yeah,
well, that was a beautiful way to start, Andrea. Thank you so much, because you and I haven't had a chance to connect live. And so I just wanted to hear it fresh while everyone else could hear it too at the same time. And I'm so glad that the message came through, because what I want to tell all the pilots now is that in preparing for this, now we were in talks with Unicorn Hunters since January of this year, so for 6 months, and a lot had to happen in order for us to even be selected as a finalist. And a big part of the selection had to be kind of business as usual. They had to decide if, you know, in their assessment, we were a winner. And as you know, I mean, they believe the NFTs are meaningful right now, and they knew we had something to do with that. And so they're like, okay, but it was the people behind the scenes that I connected with, and they got it. And they're like, oh my God, you know, they had the same reaction you did. And so we did win them over, the decision makers. Having said that, there are other decision makers, and some of them were some of the judges who said no, that are a bit traditional in finance.
Right. Oh, and I could see right away we're gonna say no or yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so there we were, you know, I'm preparing for this, and I'm right. Once they agreed to have us, we had a very high valuation that I just decided they either have to get it or, you know, like it or lump it. And that includes the value we believe we are. And so it's a very, very high valuation. And when they sent me the contract, like 2 days before the show, they even changed the terms where in the, you know, the months leading up to this, it was very clear that they would buy the shares in our company as their, you know, compensation for choosing us. And they tried to change it to be, oh no, we just get the shares. You're just going to give them to us and we don't have to buy them. And I said, no, it's a no deal.
That's not how we work.
Is not how it's going to work with us. And so they came around, you know, 2 days before I was, you know, I was flying there, and but I already knew it was going to happen because I already saw it happen in my mind's eye. And that's what happens in a flow state. You can see the future as if it's now. And so I kind of knew we were going to be on the show, so I didn't sweat it. And sure enough, they came around. But then in the preparation of giving the pitch, I have drafted and recorded my version, my first version, and it's available on our YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Anyone can watch it now. And some of you have. I sent it to all the pilot applicants. And they basically rewrote it pretty dramatically. And I had to spend a good 2 weeks with their producers, all behind the scenes, writing and rewriting, writing, rewriting. And they kept wanting me to say it differently. And I said, I can't just say this. You have to understand, it's got to come from my heart. It has to be the truth. And you can't write my script. You just can't. I mean, you've got to just trust that, like, they kept wanting me to, they literally said, dumb it down. Can you dumb it down? I said, no, I cannot dumb it down. I won't dumb it down. Because what happens when you dumb it down, you lose it and nobody gets it, right? Or if they kind of get it, they still don't get it. And then it's a lose-lose. I've learned that I just need to get into alignment, get into as much coherence as I can, and then speak through my heart. And if anyone is close enough to resonate with it, they will, and they'll join me and they'll get it like you did. And if they're not, they'll be a no, which they were. And there wasn't anything I can say to manipulate and coerce someone out of their belief systems into get, you know, to get into my vibration. So I had to explain this to the producers. You've got to just let the chips fall where they fall. You've got to let me do and say what is the best I believe, to then let them reach for it or not. We don't chase anyone. We will not chase anyone and, you know, drag them into our beliefs. And so they kind of got it, but right until, you know, a week leading up to it, they kept trying to get me to either not say things, because it is, you know, and they really want, I actually wanted to wear this, they even told me what to wear. I wanted to wear the Apple shirt. This is like a 30-year-old shirt I wore back in the day. And it really inspired me, the power to be my best. That's what we are. We're just an extension of what Steve Jobs started at Apple. It really is. And I'm wearing, you know, like the red shorts from the 1984 commercial. And I wanted to wear this. I said, this is what I want to wear. This is the 1984 commercial, you know, sped forward into today in 2022, many years later. And they're like, no, you can't, because it's got the logo. I said, fine. And then I said, well, can I wear a black turtleneck and 501 jeans, just like Steve did every time he presented? And they said, no. So, you know, there was a lot of give and take. And so at the end of the day, I finally stopped sharing my pitch script with them. We had a version that we agreed on, and I'm like, okay. And then I even had to come on stage and practice what they were expecting, but then, you know, switch into my truth when it was showtime. So there was just so many things, you know, that were part of the whole.
By the way, your outfit was amazing. I love that shirt. And if you don't like it, send it to me.
Okay, sure. No, I like the shirt too.
That's beautiful.
All right, well, thank you. All right, so now I'd like to switch into, you know, what happened as a result of this success. As Andrea saw, a majority of the judges were a yes, and that's a rare treat. So that means, and I signed a contract with them, that they can buy $30 million of shares for 5% of our company, and 1% of our company for another 5 million will be made available to their viewers. And at the moment, they have about 5 million viewers. But what's already started to happen is that clean energy money. I'll get to that. There's some good questions coming in. And just so you guys know, feel free to use the chat box. Let me make sure I can watch the chat box too. And Cody and others who are on this call, you know, feel free to point out any questions that are really good ones I should answer. Okay, but I'm noticing them as they come. Okay. So I'll get to the clean energy, but back to what I was saying. Yes, they will get to buy 5% of the company. And we now have a very, very powerful testimonial that was filmed on Friday with Bill Tai. Bill Tai, I've known him for a long time, and I saw him at Davos, Switzerland at the World Economic Forum in 2019. And I actually talked to him about this back then. He's a flower and he knows flowers, and he's good friends with Andy Walsh, the chief of marketing at Red Bull, and a lot of other people. So it was huge to get him on board to be a testimonial for what we're doing. And he's a very, very successful, even legendary venture capitalist. He's funded over 30 startups, 23 are already public. You know about Zoom, we're using Zoom. He was one of the first investors in Zoom before it became needed. So he flows a lot. So he just kind of knows where the world's going and where to bet his investments and who to bet on. So he's really very, very interested, and I don't want to say any more, but I have other aspirations with him. But that's just like freaking the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake, to have someone like that be in our episode. When the world sees that, it's like, oh, okay, this is real, and these guys are likely going somewhere. My dream would be that he leads the next fundraising. Now, so maybe some of you don't know like why the timing is so perfect for all of us, for our company, for all of you. But very recently, there's a startup called Steppin, like steps, that partnered with ASIC shoes, and you get paid for your steps. You just get measured by your wearable and your phone, and you can actually get paid right now for your steps, for exercising. And it's called proof of movement, or move to earn. And move to earn is like, it's like we're in the infant stages of the world going, is there value in that? Right, because money's been backed by debt for so long, we've forgotten like what's really of value. And in fact, most people believe scarcity makes something valuable, but we all know that that's false. And because, as I said in my pitch on the stage, when you can back something by something that's worth more, the more you have, like love or joy or inspiration or clarity, that's a win-win type of energy. And it doesn't lose its value the more you have. It actually becomes more valuable. It's a positive reinforcing upward cycle that very few people have actually really experienced. So, these guys on the judges who are still pretty stuck in the world of win-lose just couldn't, there wasn't anything I could say to win them over. And in fact, after I gave my pitch, it felt like an hour of questions and answers. I was standing there, being bombarded with questions, and they were really hard questions. There was only like one or two that was, oh, well, that's, easy peasy. So I was surprised, actually. The questions weren't even that illuminating. They were actually kind of almost as if they're trying to trip me up. And it did get me. It got me thinking a lot. And I'm happy it happened, because it caused all of us in the company to really go, wow, we could be even better than we were before. See, before we were really just focused on the highest of highs, the flow, and how do we get more people there? And since I did this pitch, we already knew, and Mohan, our chief technical officer, he'll be talking a little bit about the technology, and we were already measuring trending, like your ability to at least move up. But it's still new. And we knew that we wanted you to be measured against yourself, not each other. Because the more you flow, you realize there's no lack, there's no loss, there's nothing wrong, and there's no comparison. So we really wanted to give everybody the benefit to start your day, right? Just figure yourself out, move in the direction that makes you feel better, and have the intention first, and take some mindful, heartfelt, or physical steps to move up instead of staying in your patterns that are holding you down. So we already knew that. And I just think we got better as a result of coming on to this show. And really the financial investment is almost like gravy at this point, because now we're getting flooded with people who want to invest. And I'll talk about that in a minute, because I know some of you have asked me if you can, and you can, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later, because I really want you to get the essence of what I think is the most valuable takeaway of this whole event. Was we got better. Token of Me just got better, because it really, these hard questions hit me and touched a place that made me realize that we're really about self-improvement. And it doesn't matter who you are or how long you've been down and out. If you can just get out of bed and move up, and we can help you and give those measurements that give you the feedback, well, then you are the calibrator of you. So that's going to be super important in how we go forward. Now, I'm going to answer that question someone asked about, is this clean money coming in? We've been super, super careful. We have 10 angel investors only for the last 4 years. And Chris Coyne's on the call. He's a longtime friend and investor in me in many projects, including this one. And yeah, we only pick people who basically are resonant with our vision, and often, not often, every time, they get goosebumps before they get in. Now, I really thought about how can we, I wanted to come out on a public stage as like a way to launch this thing, because there's a minimum of 5 million people who will see this. They're telling me they're expecting it to be their biggest episode ever, just based on what happened and the testimonials coming in and the audience. I think Andrea saw that, like, for the first time ever, they said, wow, we'd like to hear what the audience thinks. We've never done this before, but you've been very animated and connected and vocal. So they're telling me they expect probably closer to 25 million to see this episode. And I would not be surprised with the kind of branding partners that are coming in, who will, I just basically gave On Running Shoes the best freaking commercial that they can't even buy, that they get to just walk right in and, just slip right in the shoes that I laid for them in talking about them during the Q&A. And many of you know that my hero and the inspiration for Token of Me was Roger Federer. And the company officially is still called Roger That, because of the calling I heard in my meditation was about his inspiration. And He's a major investor in On Running shoes. It's a Swiss company. They're taking off, doing extremely well. And I did a keynote speech like 2 years ago in Zurich, Switzerland. And I had my mom on stage wearing On Running shoes. And at the end of the pitch, I explained that I grounded the shoe and she's walking. So we're going to bring value to a shoe partner, not just, oh, hey, you want a partner and, win some, take part in our upside token offering. No, they're going to get something really valuable to give and improve their shoes, to ground people, because then you can calibrate yourself far easier, faster, longer. It's proven. So we're going to bring them some value, and I see them being part of our rollout. Just like Steppen partnered with ASIC shoes. So, all right, at this point, so back to, I keep getting close to saying this and then I lose it. Let me come back. When their viewers, when the 5 to 25 million, whoever watches this episode is now given a chance to invest, they will first have to go through a treasure hunt, an online treasure hunt, very similar to what you all did to be pilots. You applied, and that application actually helped you and us determine if you're a fit. I'm sure like there were a few judges who said no, they probably wouldn't even bother. They wouldn't do the application. But the application is what helps your focus. The questions are intended to cause clarity. So you choose, are you in or out? And so the whole show really showed me how easy it's going to be to filter out the ones who really are not so clean or not a resonant frequency and might be coming in for old-fashioned just speculation. And that doesn't inspire me and it doesn't bring value. So it's already working, I guess is what I want to tell you, because a few of the judges just didn't resonate. And they even said 2 out of 3 specifically said, I couldn't believe it, that when they followed their heart, it was a disaster. They do not follow their heart. See, Andrea's nodding. I was like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, you don't trust yourself. You really don't trust your heart. And he said, I trust my head. I was like, whoa, amazing. And then the last judge said the same thing. She said, I go with my head. I'm like, great. I just accept it. There's no argument. There's no debate. And what we know at Token of Me, and Mohan can talk about it a little bit, is, you see, we don't have to read your thoughts. We don't want to, right? That freaks people out. And it doesn't really help, because you and I could be thinking the same thing, but it means something entirely different. You might be feeling the negative end of a stick, even the word love, right? If you're going through a heartbreak, that's not going to have the same frequency as someone who's newly in love. So we aren't measuring people's thoughts. We are mostly measuring the heart. That's not the only thing, but it's the primary thing, because we are looking for, how does it lift you? How we can tell so much about your clarity in your head based on your heart. And so it's really interesting how we're going to do that. And most people who are head focused really believe that their value is their thoughts. And yet most thoughts have resistance in them. And it's when that's why meditation is so powerful. And Andrea, I was thrilled that the judges let me do this. believe it or not, it was someone's idea behind the scenes who said, why don't you do a meditation as your start? I was like, oh my God, she gets it, right? So for those of you who weren't there, the way I started the whole pitch, right? I go on stage and I look each judge in the eye, connect, and then I close my eyes and I literally sat down on the middle of the stage and I went into a meditation for like 30 seconds. It wasn't that long. And it was intended to cause everyone to go, okay, what's happening? Why is she doing this, right? Is she nervous? Is she got stage fright? Well, maybe it's on purpose, but it caused everyone to just stop whatever, expectations you had. And then I did meditate for 30 seconds and I did pull my coherency up and my resonance up, and I just fixated on my gratitude and my love and my connection to anyone who's out there who is in on this. And yeah, you just focus on love and appreciation and boom, you can get there that fast. And so I jumped up and said, my opening words were, wow, that was a moment of bliss in the flow where I took the time to align and cohere my heart and my mind in resonance. So I demonstrated how to mint a token of me in 30 seconds. And I'm so happy they let me do that because they wanted me to say what it is right away. And I said, okay, great, I'll do it in the first 30 seconds, but then let me say what I want to say to help everyone get it, right? And so there was a lot of getting. And my biggest takeaway, and they were filming it in my face afterwards, was love wins. I mean, it was so clear that love is going to win. And love is the most powerful energy there is. And I've recently, just in the last 24 hours, have gotten even clearer that mother's love is the highest of human love. The love a mother has for its offspring is ridiculously unconditional and powerful. And that's why they even let me say, I'm not just the founder and CEO, I'm the mother of Token of Me. I feel very much like the mother. And Mohan, our chief technical officer, he's the father. This is love that we're playing with and creating with. And why it's going to matter is these investors coming on board, they'll do a treasure hunt, they'll be asked questions, and only if they answer them in a way that we believe is resonant with our values, will they even be allowed to invest. And that's a big deal. That hasn't happened before. As far as the owners and the producers of the Unicorn Hunters, now they're not going to do a treasure hunt. So what we have created, actually, this was designed over 3 years ago. Our founding investors over 3 years ago have already agreed to this in our shareholder agreement. They can't just sell their shares to anybody. They have to offer them to the MOTHERTREE Trust, which holds all my shares and therefore the majority of the company. And in this way, it's like this trust becomes the exchange for all shares. And it's very, very valuable because it ensures that if any investors, including Unicorn Hunters, wants to sell any of their shares, they're not just going to go sell it to the highest, bidder who's could care less about the real value inside the company. they have to offer it to the MOTHERTREE Trust, and then she turns around and offers it straight away to our players, to you, to the pilots, to those of you who are playing in our sandbox, who are flying with the Soul Compass. And you're going to mint tokens, including some of them will be stock options. You will then have the right to buy those shares. And the more you improve yourself, the more you will be able to inherit the company. And so I'm not too concerned that the unicorn hunters will have 5%, because they'll probably never vote them. In fact, this is funny. They didn't like this, but maybe Andrea, you saw this or heard this in the Q&A. One of the judges said, so like, how is this going to work? You're going to have a token offering, and, how's that going to work? And I said, well, it's an eternal flow offering, and our pilots will be minting these shares, and you have to grow or flow to mint them. And then if you want to vote, you also have to flow and grow. And if you want to buy or sell, right? So I'm basically saying, if you really want to enjoy the value of the shares, you can't just sit back and do nothing and not care. You've got to really play along. You got to improve yourself. And yeah, that kind of like threw them off. I'm like, oh, wow. And that's why I think some of them said no, because they've got this option, but they may not even be able to exercise them. And even if they do, I've got you guys. You guys are going to inherit them. And so I'm not worried about what happens in between. We've designed the whole company. We've gamified the company. We've gamified the ownership of the company, and all the founding investors are on board. All the founders, all the team members, everyone has agreed that we're going to figure this out. We want even our shares and our votes and even our vesting schedule to be gamified, to be use our own technology because then when we create working technology, then that's how we get our rewards. So we're really in it with you, with our customers. It's a very level playing field. I don't know that anyone's ever done this before, because all companies, including blockchain companies, they pre-allocate a whole bunch of tokens to themselves and to their investors. And then it gets listed someday, and others can buy and sell them, hopefully by, making a profit. Well, that isn't inspiring enough for us. So that's where this concept of the MOTHERTREE comes in, the trust that will inspire all of us to reach for the stars and be our best. And that's really from the very beginning. And I got this idea. I remember I had filed a whole bunch of patents, and I was like, okay, what else can I do? How can I really make sure this is just unstoppable and no one can, ruin it? And I really just got a download, like, oh, if you want this to go, put your money where your mouth is, put all your shares, be all in about it. That will show the world you are all in, and that you really want the world to self-actualize, to really discover its value. And that is actually my joy. That's my payoff. And I think all the investors who've come on board, they want that too, more than ever. And so it just naturally is attracting people on the investment side, as well as the team members. We are all wanting everyone to win. We want this win-win experience. And so, all right. So much goodness. I'm gonna, let's see. I want to see if Shauna, are you on this call? I'm wanting to give someone else a chance to speak while I gather my thoughts and read some of your questions. Or if someone really wants to talk, you can unmute yourself and do so. Okay, I don't see Shauna. Well, how about we'll then move to Mohan. Mohan is he's the waz behind all of this. He's the brilliant engineer who's created this with his team in India. And this might be a good time for you to.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Shauna, you're there.
Okay, now everybody can hear me.
Oh, good.
Hi.
Hi, sweetie.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. So happy to be on this call with everyone and just be witness to this whole thing that's going on. And I'm just so elated to be a part of the process because the human experience and honoring our heart, which is the most powerful asset that we have in filtering out what's intuitively right for us and what resonates with our own truths. And I really wanted to say that I valued, Susan, when you were talking in the initial videos that you sent out to us, understanding how by going to those places that are, what we might seem to be pain, trauma, grief, those lower levels of our human experience, how those actually enable us in order for us to go through those places in our lives. They actually enable us to connect greater with our heart and to connect more with the flow. So I wanted to say that there's so much value in honoring those places and exactly where we are at, and understanding that just little by little, it's like we don't have to be having these high peak experiences or feeling joy and positivity and love, that those moments of grief and being in, what we might say like the darker shadows, that those are just as equally as important to actually boost us up to the next level of understanding, what it is, what flow is for each of us. And I'm just so elated to be a part of this experience, because I just know that, it's happening. And regardless of how long it takes for everyone to understand that, harnessing the power and the energy of the heart is the next level of currency.
Yeah.
And that's how we're gonna, this is the forefront. You're a pioneer in this, and all of us are going to start, understanding, and maybe it will take years from some other people to get on board, but I'm just super happy to be and honored to be a part of this, the initial stages of this. And it's exactly true. We're going to weed out the ones who don't get it and who are operating from the neck up, I guess you could say. We could easily weed those people out, and then it's almost like it will be like rapid fire. People will be able to say, hey, what's going on with them? I want some of what they have, and it's like, it becomes like a curiosity. And so it's, so thank you so much, Susan, for being the pioneer and the midwife of this whole experience. And I am more than honored to be a pilot and fly with all of you. And I'm looking forward to learning more about the technology and how the gaming aspect of it works, and all of that. So thank you, and all my love, and sending a huge, warm heart wing embrace to your mother as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shauna. Shauna's been like a midwife for not the birthing process, but in reverse, when humans leave. And so she's helped me and my mother here, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you. I'm just had a moment where I was just scanning a few questions. Thank you, Cody, for answering them, and anyone else who feels they have clarity, you can answer too. We will download all the chats, and it does help us. So, fire away. And if you just have something, burning you really want to say, you can just unmute yourself and dive in. I may not be able to see you raising your hand. But just looking at a few of the comments, someone asked about the current meltdown in the crypto world. Guys, there's going to be lots of meltdowns because we're going through, the whole world has just been going through a clearing, a cleansing of value. What's real value? And it's such a hard thing to wrap your head and your heart around what you value. And what we know at Token of Me is that the more you are calibrated to your true self, the more coherent you are in your heart, the more resonant you are with your ideal self, the more value you just naturally bring to everyone. You don't even have to open your mouth. You just have a frequency that naturally affects everyone to be more clear, to be more coherent. And there's value just in that. And that's a small amount compared to what happens the more you just have really good timing, for instance. You ever felt that way where you're just on and you're like, oh my God, like I actually saw that coming and I happened to be in the right place at the right time and boom, you know, it's effortless. It's like so easy. It's not even effortful, your value. And so we're moving past the old dimension of heavy debt, effort, suffering, scarcity, you know, that action was your value, but it's not. And we're now moving, you know, literally stepping where you get reward for your steps. This is like the tipping point of, well, maybe there is value in you caring for yourself, helping yourself, right? Because we've all been taught, oh, you've got to get validation from others. You've got to get someone else to love you and serve you and fill your cup. But we're now kind of moving into this new realm of you can't really be of value unless your cup is full. And all efforts without being coherent, you know, are not that helpful. They even can be harmful. Like, you know, if someone needs your help and you're just out of whack and you're not coherent, you might just do mistakes and harm them. And so I guess we're learning that your value really comes from first calibrating to your true self. And then you'll have the inspiration and the clarity on what to say and what to do. And it's more fun and it's more loving and it's more joyful. And it's like, wow, who knew, right? And so it makes sense to me that things that aren't of true value are just going to plummet, right? And eventually old-fashioned debt-backed worthless currency is going to keep becoming worth less and less. And digital currencies, ones with the most value, will continue to climb. And this experience with Stepan having a big unicorn peak just in the last month shows us that it doesn't matter. All the others are gonna sink, and that which has real value is gonna naturally rise. That's just gonna be the way it's gonna be. All things that have authentic and true value are not gonna care. It won't matter what's happening with the correction. The correction is normal. I've also noticed in my life, perhaps many of you as well, that contrast is normal. No one flows forever. That's when you die, when you get out of your body and there's no resistance. Okay, now you're, you know, having the heaven on earth experience, and you can see this amazing life that is you and is eternal. And it's just here in the physical and the games we play with win-lose games mostly, that we start comparing and we kind of lose our trust and we go into fear. And then those are the tokens and the currencies that are going to continue to crash. And the ones that have real value are things like Token of Me. And I got into a pretty intense debate with the most powerful judge on the show. And he was really not agreeing. And I don't know where these words came from, but they came out of my mouth. And I said, mark my words, these are going to be the most valuable tokens because they resonate with love. And love is the most valuable energy we have as physical beings. And so, time will tell. So that's what I want to tell you is time will tell. And, if there's something out there that floats your boat even more, go grab it, right? But what I know to be true, and we got some amazing team members on our company, they are already putting into practice some new techniques for, say, even making investment decisions. If you're flowing and you get goosebumps, that's a yes. Then you know to go in that direction because you're going to be happy with the results. And if you're not feeling, the love, if you're not feeling the juice and that resonance that happens, well, then, your focus is off. It's not going to lead to joy. So yeah, we're really getting very clear on how do we measure this, because this is, it's like a truth detector. If you really think about it, what it is, it's like, am I being true to myself, to my true self? And your true self doesn't see anything wrong with anybody or anything. There's no judgment. There's no pain. There's no suffering. There's no right and wrong. It's a unionization of opposites. When you reach those really high notes of flow, it's such a powerful state, and we want to be able to capture that, measure it, tokenize it, and even the steps leading up to it. And so I have no doubt that someday these tokens, these shares, these NFTs, when they capture these moments, will be commemorative. Like you won't even want to sell them. They'll be priceless. So yeah, but just so I'm really clear, this hasn't been really built yet, right? We need the funding, right? We do want the funding. And much of what I'm telling you has not been created yet. Yes, we have a lot already built in the Soul Compass. We want to partner with Apple and Fitbit, and I've got an Apple Watch, and we do have the first version running on it, but it's still not even close to what's possible. But we don't really want to be like a big hardware manufacturing company. It takes a lot of money, and we just want to be like of value to the existing wearable market and say, hey, how about you add some sensors and we'll add our app on top of that and validate the biometrics and create everything else. And so then all of a sudden we're of value to them. And similarly to all the games that are going on right now. And for those of you who don't know, gaming right now, it's like the internet at the beginning of the internet boom. It's just the biggest thing happening right now, because finally gaming is what broke through the money game. And now it blurred the lines with finance, with NFTs. You can now play to earn. You can play a game and get paid, and you can turn it into money that you pay your rent with. And there are lots of people doing that today in this world. So we do have a new way to be paid for our service. And we just happen to believe at Token of Me, the most valuable service anyone can do is calibrate yourself to be your best self. And in that place, it's a win-win. And all paradoxes are resolved. All contrast is unionized, and you just become the top of your game. And so now we can go to all those games out there offering play to earn and say, hey, like right now, your players, they're guessing. It's not really play to earn, they're guessing to earn. And they're paying to make a guess in your game. How about if instead of guessing and just paying to play to earn, they flow to earn? How about they wear a soul compass? It's like the new gaming console. And when you are you're now in the game. And when you improve yourself and we can validate that, well, now you get rewarded for being a better version of you. And it's going to take some time for the world to really go, oh yeah, that's valuable. And that's what Bill Ty is going to do on this episode. One of the most successful venture capitalists in the world is going to tell the world on our episode, yeah, they've got the sweet spot. They're on the tip of the most fastest growing market in the world, which is gaming. And they have like the sweet spot of the top. They're on the tippy top of it, because right now it's about steps. And they're going for the top, because there really isn't anything more valuable than a human in their highest state of love and clarity and fulfillment and joy. That is when you just have the most value. And, we hope to bring on board some really phenomenal athletes to help us prove this, and also some musicians, because when you hear a song that has high value, you get goosebumps, and we're going to be able to measure that and reward it. Eventually, the artist will get rewarded too for being able to inspire your upliftment, your flow. So, we're still here at on the ground, right? I'm going to have Mohan talk in a moment. We're going to get specific now about the soul compass and where it is today and what happened the last 6 months, because we, had some challenges in just getting good old fashioned parts, with logistics being backlogged everywhere and getting parts that weren't really working with the Apple phone. Our challenges have been more with having it work with old fashioned technology, not really ours. But yeah, we want to get it ready. We are getting it ready. The software has changed as well. We've got I've got a demo I can show you guys in a moment. So Mohan, why don't you unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and take it away.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Susan. Hello, everyone. So I'm super honored and thrilled to be here on this call and meeting all of you here. As you all may know, I was in the process with Susan on manifesting this, at least the technology part of it, and it is something that I'm super proud of. And we had to face a lot of challenges that took us off of our timelines, really, like Susan said, good old fashioned world challenges shortage of spare parts and supply chain crunch are some of the key ones, and some of the unknown difficulties trying to build hardware from scratch and making it compatible with the protocols used by the giant mobile manufacturers. Of course, Android is open for a lot of the developers and for integrations, as much as Apple is not really, which is a close kind of wall garden. So we had to find workarounds and which we are successfully doing. That's also like, another thing to add to it. But we are very, very successfully overcoming all of the hardships and challenges, and really going full on making this happen. So yeah, super happy to be on the process with you all, and super happy for the progress that the Token of Me had in the Unicorn Hunters, and also for the upcoming progresses that are going to come in terms of the updates for the app and the updates for the gamification mechanisms, and updates on the NFTs appearances. There is tons of things that we are building on, and really excited on bringing that to all of you guys.
Show them a demo of the latest app that you have running in a moment, but I just wanted to take a moment and let you know just how much I love you, and that you created this. I mean, I daydreamed it, but you actually made it real, you and your team, and it was just beautiful finding you, or you finding me. I really see you as the Woz in this whole thing, and he's the reason we were going to be on the Unicorn Hunters. And when the show came, they didn't even have him on with us, but that's okay. You made it, and I watched you now come so far, and I couldn't be happier. Now that we're going to have funding. For those of you guys who don't know, I mean, none of us are even have a salary, right? This whole thing was made with love, and it still is. And that's why we wanted the funding, because once we release these into the world, we're going to need to support you, and we want it to go. And so much of what we've daydreamed, we want to create. I'm going to show you guys now. I'm going to share my screen so you can see the demo. One moment here. Let's see. What's this? All right, you guys see my screen here? Let me make it the whole screen. There we go. This is just it's like 9 seconds, but this is the new user interface. What you're seeing is, it's very fast. See how quickly you can mint NFTs. Let me play it again. So you start the session, it connects to the phone, to the device. And I'm going to back up for a minute. And we shared this on the show. The show got to see it. These are like your compass, right? You've got your alignment in one view, your coherency, and your resonance. And in the middle is.
So it's like the
go ahead.
The infographics panel for your biometrics or your real-time alignment coherence. So the NFT in the middle, we are working on improving in it to make it generative, to make your own NFT very much linked to how your heart is beating, how the harmonics of the heart is. So you'll be able to create like a generative art that would be a representational visual of the entire process that you have gone through. We'll have cues of higher alignments will be represented in a more glowing manner, and more resonance will have more creative juices flowing over them, things like that. We are working on even adding a layer on top of it. So currently this is the version that we have, which creatively visualizes the biometrics that are coming from the device connected via Bluetooth.
And here on this bar here is your skin conductivity. So when you get goosebumps, for instance, your conductivity skyrockets because your resistivity plummets. And if I let this run, it will mint an NFT. At the moment, it mints them rather easily. And our goal is, though, to, of course, get more intelligent about what's being minted, and maybe not every time, right? We kind of want the bar to be high and to be more about your trending, and not just a momentary, instead of just one eureka moment. but rather because it's your trending that actually changes your set point and moves you into a stable way up. And you know, and then life happens and you might get thrown around a bit in the turbulence, but you'll wobble, but you'll get back into balance. And that's why the user interface is intentionally giving you more as if these are dials on your dashboard, as if you're really flying yourself through this space-time reality. We want you to sort of see it like your balance and your altitude, as opposed to like a number, like, okay, you know, you're 80% or you're 90. That's still kind of old world comparison. And we kind of want to help people see themselves through a new user interface. And so, but it is meaningful. Yeah, this really does. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was about to say the next goal is to have this NFTs even minted on the background. So you're just on the fly doing your thing, and the NFTs are just being minted on the background. And once you're done with the day, you can just come to the app and see a review of your whole day on how the song of the heart, how the song of your heart was throughout the whole day and throughout the whole period of time, and what are the NFTs that you've minted during your high points, and the difficulty levels get like more harder and harder just with yourself. So we're making it in a way that you are compared against the best version of yourself that you were yesterday, and we want you to be even more better than you are.
I love that. I love that. I mean, that's our new tagline. You're being compared against the best version of yourself. Beautiful. Oh, so guys, yeah, it's not just a new user interface that they've been working on. This really does mint NFTs. There is a session. It's on Solana currently using Stardust. And there is a real blockchain token created. We are not currently selling them. They're not being used in games yet. We're really just wanting to walk before we run. This is not a race. That's why I wanted to tell you all on this call that this morning I was walking in the ocean and I got a nice download. And what I heard was, the world is just barely ready for this. And you guys are, but like it takes time for the heart to like really open and embrace this on a grand scale. And in a matter of a month from now, a huge audience is going to hear about this, and we want to get ourselves ready to handle the resonance that comes and the yes, I want that, like Andrea, who was in the audience. And I can tell because they go through our site and they really absorb it. Like it either really gets you or it spits you out. And so we want to be ready for this ourselves before we, throw ourselves out there and then get eaten by the sharks. Much of the past few years, because this whole concept, this project actually was started about, actually it was 4 years ago, June 8th, 2018. That was when I figured out the calling. So this is 4 years in the making. This wasn't, just whipped up from a pipe dream. And I really knew that I'm not supposed to just push it, just let it unfold. And the Unicorn Hunters was perfect. We did another event in Switzerland and it didn't turn out quite the way I expected. But now seeing that we got Bill Ty, we got what we really wanted out of it. It was him. It wasn't the event he had founded. It was Bill. And so yeah, I'm just really being more trusting about this. And that's why you're not going to see us rushing out the door to get hardware to you and software to you. Because once that happens, it'll take off. And we want to have a company that can support that. Because while we could support a few hundred of you right now, in a few months from now, I really can see this just exploding, and we need time to build up our team to support all this and to be able to ship these out and get people, going and having them have a good experience, right? We don't want to just like send it out there and then have some, disappointment. And that's why we didn't send them out in January. When we had 100 of them, we knew that it wasn't right, that it wasn't gonna be the product that would take it into the stratosphere. And so Mohan and his team, they did what they had to do to get the hardware to work with Bluetooth. And now we're, hoping to get the Apple Watch as well. That will take some time because we got to get inside. We've got to get, there's a lot of data in it that we're currently not exposed to. And so we've got to, probably get special permission. But yeah, we want to be the validator of self-improvement, of human value as you're, going up. So it's coming. I don't want to tell you on this call when you're going to get it, but I will tell you that for some of you, it'll be sooner than others, because we're going to focus on those who are more comfortable with some raw technology, maybe a little more technical, not so easily thrown off. Because, when I first got this thing, it didn't put me in flow. I felt like throwing it against the wall. I was frustrated. I couldn't get it to work with the old world. And I was like, oh man, I can't have a device that measures my flow if I'm going out of flow when I'm tinkering with it. So yeah, I want you all to have a really good experience. And that's far more important, that it be of value to you when you get it, not that you get it right away. And, I've had this talk with our investors as well. This is not a race. And it takes us time, and it takes the world time to really, embrace it. And your data. So for instance, many of you, I think if you're on this call, there was one important question in the pilot application, and that is, are you comfortable sharing your data? Well, I mean, come on. If you're not comfortable, then you're definitely not going to get one anytime soon, because, we don't want to have to deal with that right now. We need the data. The data is going to help us. We don't care who you are by name, but we really, this is so early, and we need all the pilots to be so far beyond that concern that this is going to make it better for everyone. And so that tells us a lot about people's readiness. And so, back to the other question about the new investors coming on board. So they have to do a treasure hunt. They have to go through the question. They have to apply. And more than likely, they're going to need to buy one. Because if they're not willing to buy it, well, then why do I want you as an investor? Come on, right? It's pretty clear, right? So it's going to be pretty easy to have those come in who are bringing value, and those who are just looking for. And this was another thing I said on stage, by the way. It just came out when I got asked some hard questions. One of the judges asked me, he said, actually, he made a statement first. He said, look, and he's the leader of the show. I mean, it was his idea. He's the brainchild of it. And he said, look, and he has a strong Russian accent. He said, there's three kinds of investors. There's the impact investor who just wants to make a big impact, a good impact on the world. There are those who are in it because it's such a cool product and they just want to see it be realized and come into the world, and it's something they want to play with. And then there's, the real investors, the ones who are really just focused on the return on their investment. And I said, well, great, we're all three. Take your pick. We're all three. And he didn't agree. And I said, well, you know, we actually don't want anyone investing in us who's looking for a get rich scheme. And so it eliminated him. It was perfect. So yeah, I was so happy that I'm not worried anymore. I used to be a little bit about, you know, who's going to be putting the money in. And I've been very, very careful, as everyone who's been involved in this knows. The money is not, it's not just clean. Come on, guys, we're way past clean. The money is ridiculously full of love and pure love. And they just, you know, want this to happen. They don't care even about the financial returns, but I met with them last Sunday and showed them how their investment is doing. And it was pretty hard for them to believe how well it's doing already. So yeah, we don't want you in for the money. We want you in for the real value, right? Which is the return you get when you discover the buried treasure, which is you. And that's why we're having a treasure hunt, right? For the new investors. All right, I'm gonna, if someone really has something they wanna say, this would be a good time because I'm gonna review some of the questions here. Cody, feel free if you're still with us. You've been responding to some of them. If you wanna share your thoughts, feelings, awareness, this would be a great time. I see you're here. I know you're on the call. There you are.
Hey guys. Yeah, I'm at a little fruit market. Yeah, I don't know. There's just like you've been expressing so clearly, and just like shaking my fist every time you say something amazing. Like, yeah, let's go. Like, it's so exciting. When Susan, for those of you that don't know and haven't heard, when Susan told me about this, I don't know, it's been what, year and a half, I feel like. I don't even know how long. It was at a crypto event in Tulum, and she's like, I was like, whoa, are you serious? This is real. And I just started dancing and spinning around and like just immediately got it. I thought I was gonna start flying. And as you guys know, every single one of you that's on this call, you know, we don't really have to explain as to why this is so important. My greatest passion is freedom, and everything I do is, you know, of course, number one, I always want myself first to expand my level of freedom, but as I'm overflowing, I'm just so inspired to share that with others and inspire others to their highest self and highest version of freedom. And like, there's just no better way that I've even been able to think of a possible idea than what Tom is and what it's doing. And that's the full intention behind it. Because if you guys know, also you all do know, you know, this world in the past has really been, if you will, kind of manipulated or controlled by two things. One, controlling the information, and two, controlling the money. And so that's been mostly through scarcity. And what this does is it's just infinite value. That's where value comes from. Any other money or currency or anything that humans have determined as valuable, it's all that determination. It's all just like everyone agrees, hey, this is valuable. Mm-hmm. But one thing that no one can really disagree on is that the inherent value of a human at their highest resonance. And so not only are we changing the whole idea of where value comes from, but we're reminding humans of their divinity. And so which is the value. And so it's amazing how this is, you know, the way this is going. It's like you know, it's the idea, not a good what you call analogy, but how do you know, best way to cook a frog, you kind of burn it, cook it slowly. That's kind of what we're doing to the idea of the old financial system. Is okay, first it's NFTs, but what they don't realize is this is a white Trojan horse to change the entire financial system and the value that's associated with it. Because first it's NFTs, then it's, oh, hey, you get paid to go surf or meditate or whatever you love to do. And when people are able to start using these things, like, oh, I could pay my phone bill by meditating, by surfing, by skydiving. Are you serious? then it's, yeah, just the vibration, the reminder, the ideas that will come to the earth. It's amazing. So I told Susan that day, like what, 5 minutes after you told me, I'm like, I'll dedicate most of my life to this. Like I have no other thing that I've ever come across or that I've even come up with myself that has this much impact on the world and on the ideas of the world. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Super.
all love all the time. So
Wow, so good, Cody.
That's
It's so
exactly the same for me too. When I
Yeah.
was first, hearing that, this is something that's been done, like for sure, like, I was like, wow, like this is what we want, like, that
yeah.
it's amazing.
Yep, for sure. And I think you guys, when you see the episode, yeah, that's why they're telling me they expect this to be the most viewed episode ever, because there was a majority of the judges who said, and Andrea's still on the call, she can validate this. They said this was the most inspiring, the most authentic pitch they've ever heard. So they not only got it, but they're going to run with it. And, that's when I realized it's happening, it's not just in my mind anymore. The audience got it, the judges got it, and the world's going to get it. And now we just really, it's more about improving ourselves as best as we can to be able to stay in alignment, stay in balance, because it's like we just called it in and it's coming. And now we want to get ourselves as stable as possible to handle probably some even bigger contrast that's coming. And we want to be able to handle that without, forgetting that we all agreed to do this. We want to do this. There isn't anything more important to us to do this. And we just want you all to really feel the authenticity in our desire, so that you can, at times, you might need to be patient, because you just have to really trust yourself and trust us that we're really trying to give birth to this new, not just technology, but it really touches a lot of things. It touches the financial world. It touches people emotionally. Some are threatened by it. And we want to accept that, but not react. And so that's actually what happened to me a lot on the stage. Is I was really feeling a lot of these mixed reactions, and there's a tendency to go to the vibration of the question and the doubter. And then in those moments, I sort of lost myself a little bit, the full connection, and get a little defensive instead of going, nope, I'm sure of it. So that's just natural. And we're going to go with the flow on some of this. I want to come to a question that's asked a few times. How can people, if you really want to invest? Now, I've made it really clear that we're not expecting any of our pilots to invest. We believe the best investment is yourself. And you're on this call, you're investing your time. Most of you have ordered a Soul Compass and your data, you're using it. This is the best investment you could make for yourself and for us. It is truly the most valuable. But we get it, you guys, if you want to be in on it even more, all of you can. We do have a few people that we're taking in even before the show gets aired. I was hoping Michael Vitek was going to be on the call, but I think he's in Egypt today. He's coming in a big way, and he's known about this for probably 2 years. And he's been trying to come in, and I told him, please wait. I really don't want anyone's money until I know we're going to be on this show, because I knew this show would be the go, no go as far as our timing goes. And so I'm just really very happy, and so is he, that we waited. Like, I didn't want to I just don't want the money unless there's a reason to do it. And so we are doing kind of some friends and family before the release, before the episode goes out, before the world gets to invest in it. The terms are going to be the same, just so you know. It's not like we're going to offer you something better because you already have something better. You're going to be the ones who get to buy them when they are actually available on the market. You'll be the only ones who can buy them. Okay, it's like, you know, beautiful in this design. But just two important factors to consider. Since it's the same, you don't have to do it now. You can wait until the episode comes out, and then like your risk is lower, right? It's like the whole world's getting in on it on the same terms. So there really is no need to say jump in now if you want to, other than to be sure that there's room. If you do it through the show, it's very interesting. The contract I signed, and I guess this is an American thing. In America, you see, I'm going to do a little diversion here for a second. Bear with me. If you're an American, if you have an American passport, you're pretty much excluded from all token offerings. I don't know if you guys know that, but you know, it's just too much of a risk to deal with Americans. And I, being an American, understand that because our government has been a bully. And so these new startups around the world are saying, oh, we can now take money from anybody. Why would we take it from a part of the world that has bullied us and, you know, threatened us? No, we'll just say no to you. So this offering is like the first time an American can actually invest in an early stage token-based company. So that's pretty exciting to them. But the laws had to change in America in order for them to even be able to do that. And interestingly enough, the law that changed, it's called the Jobs Act. It's funny how it's got Steve Jobs' last name. And it's what lets almost anyone invest in a startup. See, because it's very elite there. Only really wealthy people are allowed to invest. They're accredited investors. And you have to prove that you are either experienced at investing or you have a high net worth. So it's just their way of saying they're looking out for you when they're not. They're looking out for themselves, and they're just trying to keep all the really cool startups reserved for the wealthy investors. Well, so now almost any American could invest in our company, but the limit, it's capped at like $2,000. So it's a very low cap. It's like, okay, well, we'll let them invest, but just not very much. So I'm like, whatever. That's the state of America right now. And so when this airs and the world, including those of you who are not in America and are not American, but you know, you're from all over the world, you can invest whatever you want, but it will be, if you're American, it's limited to $2,000 US dollars. And so if you're only planning on investing like 2,000 or less, just wait, just come in at that time and be a part of, you know, the public launch. But if you really want to invest more, I would just write to me and I will take each of you on a one-on-one basis. And that's what we're doing now with a handful of people. And I'm happy to do it with anyone who feels a very strong calling to be more involved on that level. So at the moment, I didn't want to have this call be about that, but it's just, you've asked enough about it. So that's my answer, and just write to me and we would do something directly in advance of the public launch. Is there any questions to that or comments? Nope. Okay, goosebumps. Chia's got goosebumps. That's wonderful. Goosebumps is the truth, isn't it? It's wonderful. Okay, guys. you know, the future updates, things are, you know, our focus is getting the hardware ready for the first adopters. You will be hearing from us when we're ready. And most likely it's going to our investors first, the ones who've been in on this for years, and letting them, you know, really have the first say about its readiness for everyone else. And then we'll be filtering through everything from your applications to the chat dialogue that has taken place in many of our calls. This helps us to see who's really ripe and ready and would get the most out of it, because we want everyone to have a great experience. And I'm going to be focused a lot on writing a private placement memorandum, a very standard document for a public offering for investors around the world. And I'm busy connecting the dots with different branding partners to either be in on the episode or make announcements as it comes out, so that we just keep going and building. We're going to need to hire some more people to help us with the response on the investment side, as well as the product placements, the orders. We're going to start taking orders again. The price is likely to be closer to the $1,000 US. Many of you were given a 50% discount. We're probably not going to discount it at the launch because I honestly don't think we need to. And we wanted you guys, being early birds, to really bring it down to our costs, so that we're just trying to cover our costs with your purchase. And so now that we've had, like, I feel great. If anyone just has something burning, a burning question, a burning comment, you know, really we're kind of open here. You can just unmute yourself and dive right in. I see we have some investors on the call, which is great, from all around the world. And wow. So
I guess
jump in.
I could say, yeah, I was just gonna say how I don't think we're even, I mean, we're understanding how powerful this can be in terms of like self-improvement, in terms of, you know, a new form of money based on different value and all the company. But this is so profound, because you know, when biofeedback came out and it helped people meditate, like they could get to a master level meditation with biofeedback. Like they're like, oh, we had 10 years of being a monk and you can do it in like a month. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what's going to be so powerful about this, is because people are going to start to realize what makes them come alive and want to do that more. And it's literally like a domino effect. So they're going to start to see miracles happen in their life, because their incoherence, you know, their heart is like literally radiating, you know, their reality is like, so I really think that this is going to be a powerful domino effect that can be created in the world, where people have physical experiences of their passion and in their passion. And this can change everything. A passionate person, like you said, is the most powerful person in the world.
Yeah. And
we can do anything.
You touched on something, and I just want to now take it to the next level. And that is, see, the biggest breakthrough that's coming, and not everyone really gets it yet, but it's going to really break up the concept of finance, the concept of money. I went on stage and said, we are revolutionizing money and giving you the tools to mine yourself to bring the value home. And when you experience yourself rising like this, coming into your coherence and resonance with your true self, the real currency is the joy and the upliftment that you feel. That's the new money. And not everybody understands that, but once you get it, you can't forget it. And now that we've connected it to make it actually your real currency, it's a win-win. You got both. The real take home is this new kind of abundance, which is not just your old-fashioned currency that you use to pay rent and buy things. The new currency, yeah, it does that, but that's like the bottom of its value. The peak of it is just, you just feel so alive and so inspired, and you're a creator, and then you create, and then you do what you're born to be and do and have, like your life just turns into one magical moment after the next. And then you're like, oh, I get it. That's the reward. It's intrinsic. It was never actually meant to be extrinsic, but that's part of the coin. It's like got two sides to it. Yes, it's money in an old-fashioned sense to pay your way, but the ones who are flowing the most, if you think about it, like the top musicians, the top athletes, they aren't going to care about the tokens. They've already got the fullness of it, right? They'll do it because, and we designed it for them to want to do it, because what they really want when your heart's overflowing, you want everyone to feel that way too. You want to uplift people, and you want to do it in this real way, not in this reactive way, or in this, let me prove myself, let me be of value to you. No, you want to actually uplift people. And then that's the joy for both of you, is seeing more people experience this kind of profound way of living. That's that's why we call it the buried treasure, because it's really hard to explain until you've experienced it. But yeah, the biggest flowers will not only be able to vote their shares and buy your shares and sell shares, they're going to be at such a high frequency that I can't even imagine what's going to come out of them. This whole thing will just keep growing beyond my imagination. It'll now be in a collective much stronger. So yeah, that's powerful. And also the other thing to point out is, today you can get paid, you can get tokens, rewards for meditation or for steps and so forth. But a lot of those are self-reporting. There's methods today to get rewarded for your behavior, your action, or your saying you went through the motions. But we don't really care so much about just lip service. We're going to measure it. And I love that Mohan already has it where it's working in the background, right? Like you're not going to go, oh, how am I doing? Is that token worthy? It's just going to happen for you. We want it to work for the least technical person out there, that you just wear a soul compass in any form, and you're not turning it on or off. You're not starting or ending a session. It's just collecting and giving you feedback as you want it. And this was also very important. The judges got a little nervous about, well, wait a minute, I don't know if I want the world seeing how I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, I know. So don't worry. Everyone has a choice. In the beginning, you might just have it be between you and you, right? It's just between your soul compass and your phone, and you're not ready yet for anyone else to look over your shoulder. So we want it to be really easy to step into and go, well, I just want to get my training wheels on, and before I have people looking at me. Because the most common thing, as you know, if you've ever done public speaking, is you're a little too worried about what other people think. And if you are, you can't be your best. It's like a paradox. If you're really trying to make a difference, but you're not there yet, you got no value. So we've recognized this from years of practice, that that's why I had to convince these judges and the producers and to just let me say it my way and let go and let people rise with it or walk away from it, and don't try to win everybody over. So that's what we're learning about. There is one thing I'm going to share with you guys before we end the call. We're getting near the end here. I just wanted to let people speak who would like to today. It's a beautiful turnout. Thank you, all of you from so many parts of the world. I know it's either early morning or for Mohan, it's late at night. So I'm going to share something. It's only going to be about 5 minutes long, but before I do, I'd like to just see if there's anyone else who has been on this journey with us and cares to, share what's happening.
Hey, Susan, I want to share one more thing. One thing that I think is amazing is that how this is for literally everyone. If you guys didn't already know and didn't hear earlier in the call, but we're measuring trending, where someone's trending. So one thing that Susan, you told me one time that the judges asked is like, oh, something about, is this, just for those that are already flowing, just another way for those already at the top, to just continuously stay at the top. And, sometimes, let's say someone who's really, really low, and they have trouble even, getting out of bed, getting out of bed is an increase from where their average is. And we will be able to tell and to read that and to reward them for it.
Right.
And so I just wanted to mention how amazing that is, that this is literally for the ascension of all humans, no matter where they are. So anyway.
Yeah. Thank you, Cody, because that was the hardest question. And then they came at me like 3 different ways. And I'm happy that they did, because it caused us to be better as a result. And, I was thinking a lot. That's why I shared some more personal things with all of you in my first video, because, and it was one of the questions was, what about those people who are so depressed, they can't get out of bed? And if I could answer the question again, I would say, look, that's one of the hardest places to be in life. I've been there. Many people have. And life doesn't even seem worth living. I've had days where the moment I woke up, I felt like I was in hell because of what I was going through. And it's a very dark place, and it builds on itself, and it's like ridiculously hard to get out. So, I would say now that that person, if they literally just have the intention of feeling better, we can measure that. And if they actually step out of bed, we can measure that too. Like, we can start from the lowest of the lowest points and give someone feedback that they actually have taken steps. One of my favorite poets is Maya Angelou, and she says the most noble thing any human can do is start, wake up in the morning and go, I want to feel better today, and listen to your thoughts and be more selective about what you're choosing to even think about, because everyone has gone to bed, sad or in pain. It's what you do when you wake up in the morning and you got a fresh start that can be the difference between moving in the direction of feeling that life's worth living to being at the top of your game. It's a trend, and we can now measure that, and we want to help everyone keep calibrating, because most people, and I've spent most of my life unlearning this, is I've been reacting to other people. I've been calibrating to them. And that's why these questions were so hard, because I was kind of going where they were, and instead of holding myself in a state of compassion and saying, wait a minute, while it's true that I can't say, here's a device that'll make you happy. It's probably the best thing I could give someone to at least let them know if they're taking steps to take care of themselves, because we're not about saving the world or each other. We're about self-empowerment. And I now know that there's no happiness. There's no everlasting happiness. There's just, unless you figure it out for yourself. If you're getting your needs met by someone else, well, that's a drain, and no one can actually be your source. So we're trying to flip things back to their natural way, which is you all have your own access to your own source, and not to keep getting it from someone else. And then when you're of service to each other, it comes through your heart. It's effortless. It's not draining. So yeah, this is so much happening here. It's psychological, it's emotional, it's financial, it's fun. And it's really going to help flip this planet, especially as things continue to sort of go out of business that aren't of true value anyway. And we're now going to have a way to even measure the truth. We're not even going to need fact checkers anymore. Everything from email to news to everything that's being posted. One of the things that I filed patents on, and Mohan's already been, he was thinking about it before he even read what I was thinking about. So to me, we're meeting in the collective on this one, that now, if you can imagine, like your inbox, including your text messages, imagine that they're not prioritized according to who sent a message to you, but rather how true were you calibrated, you, the author of that text message or that email. How full was your heart? How full, how coherent were you? Because if you're not above, like what I call baseline, there's no value. In fact, there's negative value. You might bring people down. So I don't even want to read anything anymore. I don't want to see anything anymore if it's of no value to me. And now we're pretty soon going to have a way to just filter out the stuff that is really just sort of taking me away from my true self. And we're not going to need fact checkers anymore, because it's not going to go through the head anymore. It's going to go through the heart. And yeah, I'm like super thrilled to know that the bullshit's going to die on its own, guys. We don't have to fight anything. We don't have to beat anything. We don't have to argue. We definitely don't have to fix anything. We just have to be our best self. And literally the world will change. And you can't save anyone. You can't, if you're busy saving or fixing, or I'm not going to follow, and you might not be having a good time. But it's not wrong. It's just part of the game. And then the more people who go, oh, okay, I get it. I just got to let go and be me. And when all of me comes through, oh, heaven on earth. I'm abundant. I'm happy. I'm a creator. I'm an artist. I'm an athlete. I'm whatever I really wanted to be. And then you do that and you get, you're also supported. You got the finances. Right? Like it's really going to happen. This flip's going to happen, and it's probably going to be pretty big for a lot of people. And that's why we're taking our time to, get this ready to go. So, because I think once it goes, it's going to be like a snowball, right? And an avalanche. And we just want it to be ready to, carry itself. Okay. I like that bullshit filter. Yeah, it's a bullshit filter for sure. Investors are going to use this. Hey, Cody, if you're still on the call, I don't know if you want to share, but what idea you have that you're working on? You want to tell us about it?
Are you talking about the fund?
Yeah, you want to use the Soul Compass to make better trades.
Yeah, so my profession, I've been a day trader now for over 6 years, and I've started coaching on it now for a couple of years. And right now I'm in progress for people that I've coached, building a solid team of traders. And I have plenty of investors that are like, they hit me up all the time. Hey, what does it take for you to trade my money? And so what we're going to do is when Soul Compass are rolling and flowing, 1,000,000%, we're going to use that as a team of traders to trade to expand this this fund. And we have a ton of regenerative projects that we're already aiming at working with and funding and expanding. And so anyways, it's so huge for that, because as a trader, as a professional trader, what has gotten me to see a lot of success in trading and coaching and guiding others to the same success is literally just telling them, like, you know, there's more to it, but get into flow, then look at the charts. And if you're not in flow, just simply don't look at the charts.
Yeah.
So it's just like almost a cheat code that tells us, like, hey, I should be trading right now. I should totally be looking at the markets, or hey, it's time to go for a walk, you know?
Right.
So I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, me too, Cody. I am too, because you're going to have a very powerful application for your business, which is leading a lot of people in being traders. And now you're going to literally create a collective of them with soul compasses. And then only those who have a higher calibration to their coherency and therefore closer to the win-win truth will even be sharing their insights. And then even when those are believing this is a buy opportunity or a sell opportunity, you will then test that out. And then, you know, it's like on steroids, this coherence from the individual to the group. And then boom, it'll be easy to check if it's really working or not, right? And these are the kinds of applications that we're working on. So investors in the future will not invest without a soul compass. That's what I'm telling investors, because the person who's flowing the most while speaking, presenting, working, they have the most valuable contribution, and they're closer to the resonance of the breakthrough, of the win. They're on the right track that will lead to success. And not just success for them, but generally win-win success. And so one of the patents we filed actually does measure this. You're being measured as you're being a contributor to society. And if what you're creating has this high resonance of flow, and voila, it in fact does, because it goes out and the results are very clear, more and more we'll be able to improve the data to create this soul compass to really even sort of be able to pre-figure out, know in advance. Like you won't even put something out unless you already know, okay, yeah, this is ready to go. I'm on the right track. This is a winner, because it's win-win. So I didn't say it yet, but what is super important to understand about flow and why we are going for it is when you're in a flow state, and especially like if you get those goosebumps of truth, that is literally in resonance with everything's true self. So it's like the birds, the bees, the trees, the people, the planet, the universe, you're having like an orgasm with God. And when you have that, then you're at your highest value and everyone will fall in love with it. It will resonate with everyone's true self. Now, they may not be in a position to receive it yet if they're fixated on the guy who, you know, did them wrong, so to speak. So if you're focused on complaining and negative and the shit's not right or trying to fix what's broken, you may not be ready to hear, feel, or receive the benefit of this brilliant idea or this brilliant song or this art that was created. You might actually be repelled by it. It'll turn you off. And I think that's what happened on the show. It sort of turned off the ones who just weren't in resonance with it. So I'm happy that they didn't lie and pretend to be on board just for the possible chance of a great return. So it filtered them out, and I'm super happy that it did. And so, okay, guys, thank you, Cody. Thank you. I want to share something with you guys. I'm going to share my screen in a moment, but before I do, I was looking at a few of the comments here. And again, Andrea, perfect. Andrea, who, as you guys may know, she was in the audience. I met her only because she happened to be there and liked what I had to say. And much of what my learning and training comes from, I listened to Esther Hicks like every day for about 10 years. And I just find it to be the gold standard. See, she's having a reaction right now. I could tell by what you wrote that she's obviously someone you follow. What Esther Hicks says, Esther gets into a very powerful flow state, has been doing it for like frickin' 35 years. Okay, I've been listening to this woman for a long time. And a lot of the motivational speakers all mimic her and use a lot of what she has downloaded. But this is not someone who's, new at this. This is someone who gets into a flow state through meditation and then just frickin' downloads infinite intelligence. And for over 35 years, she's been doing this. And I have gotten the most out of it more than anything else. But everyone's got your own way, right? Everyone is different. And that just happens to be my cup of tea. But she has taught me a lot. And much of what is in Tom comes from that. And Mohan has his sources, which are different. But the thing is, when you're in the realm of truth, that truth has a ring to it that rings true for everyone, or it's not really true. If it doesn't resonate with all beings when they're in a state of allowance and in love. And so what Esther has said is that if one person, so we don't even need a majority of the world to get this or want this, but if just one person is in a state of pure love, pure allowance, no resistance, which often doesn't happen until you physically die. But if you can do that for like 17 seconds, that's like the equivalent of a whole year's worth of human effort, because we put so much into our effort and our thoughts and our doings, because we haven't really gotten into the practice of realizing how valuable we are just being here. When it comes to love, you don't have to do anything to deserve it. If any of you have had children or have a pet, they don't have to do anything. It's just comes natural. So yeah, if you can be in that state of no resistance, it's super, super powerful when you compare it to effort. And she says, one person doing that for just a few seconds a day is more powerful and valuable than millions of people who are slugging it out and, proving their self-worth by doing something, right, that are trying too hard. And usually it's when you finally let go that things just happen really synchronistically and easily. And so this is more about ease. And we have an understanding in our company that once we have the soul compass in practice, we are expected not to work, do not work, certainly not for us, if you're feeling out of sorts, because you're of anti-value. You're really doing a disservice to yourself and to the rest of the team. Your timing will be off. Your opinion won't really bring us, to a coherent state. The software will be buggy. It's just not worth it. So just go for a swim or a run or meditate or, something that can bring you back into balance. So that's kind of going to be our philosophy going forward is, we're not looking for your time or even your effort, because they might not be of value to you or to us. We want all team members to first get yourself into that state of balance and calibrate to you, not to, each other. And then we can pull ourselves up, and with it, magically, the whole team comes up together. So what I was going to share with you guys is just a few minutes. And if you don't if you get tired of watching it, you can just drop out. We're going to be ending the call pretty soon here. If someone, as I mentioned, really wants to invest, just write to me or wait until the offering is made public. But we always have a special place for our pilots. I'm just taking, hey, Frankie, I see you're still here. I would love it if you'd say something before we end the call. Frankie Jupiter, one of my favorite musicians that produced a song, a cover for Pure Imagination. I don't know if you're live right now, but it says you're still here. All right, well, maybe he'll come back. Okay, I'm gonna play something here. I'm gonna share my screen and play for you this 5-minute segment of what Esther Hicks I just listened to today. It's pretty fresh. And I think it applies to all of us, all of you. And I want you to hear it because I think this is really speaking to all of us regarding, you know, what we're doing and what this is about. So let me share my screen here. But feel free if anyone wants to jump in. Well, that's our website, by the way, in case you haven't seen it. Most of you have. All right, here it is. So let me turn my volume up and I'll make this big.
This is Source's rampage to you. You did exactly what you said you were going to do. You focused your consciousness into this body and this personality. A powerful intention you held, and you did it. And you've been exploring and deciding and choosing as you focus upon what's happening around you. And you feel all kinds of different ways about what you're focused on. You did it. You did what you said you were going to do. And you had an important reason for doing it. Because you know you are eternal and you wanted the exploration. And you wanted to stand in the position where you would launch rockets of desire that would benefit all that is. You did it. We did it. We did what we said we were going to do. We maintained our vantage point in non-physical. We never take our eyes off of you. The non-physical us is aware of the physical you. And we revel in constant awareness of the perfection of you doing what you said you were going to do while we do what we said we were going to do. Because we are inseparable, that which is you and that which is us. You explore with more specificity. You explore the details of your time and place. And you come to new awarenesses of what would be better. And we see you do it. We watch you launch those rockets, and we revel in every particle of vibration that you launch into the eternal vortex of all that is. And while you are finding your balance, we maintain ours. While you focus new things into reality, we pay attention. We care. We are the steward of what you are creating, of what you have created, of all that has become, and of all that is becoming. We give it undivided attention with absolute love for you, who has given it birth, as we keep our promise to you while you are keeping your promise to us. And then here we are, together in a conscious way, acknowledging the parts that we play. You fulfilling a powerful intention that you held I want to do this deliberately. You said, I'm going to be a creator that knows how to create. I'm going to put my hands in the clay on purpose, and I'm going to mold my life into exactly what I want it to be as I make new decisions step by step, as I evolve through life experience. And we said, we know you're going to do that. And we are going to be the beneficiaries of that. And now we all say, you who's listening in, and us who's aware of you at all times, the planet is brimming with nearly 8 billion humans who, some are aware that they've made these choices and some are not, but all are contributing in magnificent ways. And each is right in what they are doing, and none are wrong. And while there is enormous diversity in what is being wanted and what is believed and what is being asked for, there is a common denominator that is the source within all that is calling everyone toward the collective consciousness of improvement and expansion that you are consciously aware of. There's nothing more thrilling than to be a deliberate creator, to set things into motion, and then to get to witness them coming into place. It was your powerful intention to stand mostly in vibrational alignment with the love that you were born from and that you were born to be. As you witness others who don't know this yet, who haven't figured it out, who don't even like what they see in you, who've decided they're never going to call you again because you're too darn weird, off into this weird stuff, while they prefer to be off in their hatred and in their absence of love. You are the creator of your reality and the steward of a magnificent time on planet Earth that you are in the process of getting to witness. So whether you are out with the whales today or whether you're in the hub of the city, it is our powerful desire that you have your shock absorbers, that you are in balance, and that life is treating you the way you want it to, and that you are treating life the way you intended. There is great love here for you. And for now, we are complete.
Wow. Ooh. Ooh. You turn that off. Okay, I'm back. Kind of hard act to follow, right? It's infinite intelligence. I just felt I wanted to share it because I feel that it's talking to all of you. To have your shock absorbers, you're in on this, you're on the front lines, shit's gonna happen, and you want to get your balance. And we're gonna have a soul compass to help you go through that turbulence. So you're not looking to me or each other, but really your own balance. And that's why we call it a soul compass. But I've just was so happy to share this because I've been feeling it coming, that there's going to be an outer event that will be more tangible for all of us and others too. And we all knew we were going to be here in this time to witness what's happening. The world is changing, and it's really the good guys are going to win. I know it. I've seen it. All the win-lose stuff is just going to go out of business. So we got nothing to lose. I'm going to just open up the floor in case anyone has something they'd really feel called to share after watching that. And then we're going to close out unless there's any questions. Surf's up. I like that. Oh, you guys, this is going to be pretty exciting. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll have more flow calls, because obviously we all get more flowy when we have these calls. Probably not though until I get past the fundraising, get the old-fashioned money in the bank so we can hire some people, and a lot of people are willing to accept crypto, but we're not even set up yet as a company. So there's a lot of things we got to do to connect the dots between the old and the new. And yeah, that all has to happen. And then we'll be really ready to handle the big waves that are coming. Because this is a tidal wave. I mean, if any of you have lived through the internet, which I did, very, very close, the blockchain wave is so much bigger, and NFTs are going to be everything. Everything's going to be an NFT. The title to your house, the title to your car, and now your moments of joy. Tickets to concerts, they'll all be NFTs. So this is, you know, and then I knew it was going to be a game. I knew this like from the very beginning, it would come out as a game, and that was long before gaming took off, long before NFTs took off. And so, you know, when you flow, you actually can see a lot of things in the so-called future. And then you just have to sort of weather the storms and just keep your balance so that you don't get swept away, and you just make it through. And you'll come out on top. So gamification is perfect because people are more willing to play. They're more willing to let go and feel happy. If they're trying too hard, which is where most people are, they can't flow. So it's perfect that we're just gamifying it. It's a great, like Cody said, it's like a white Trojan horse. They won't see it coming. It'll just sneak into the world and go, whoa, wait a minute, what just happened? I missed that. How come I missed that? But you're going to be right in the front of it all. So just bear with us as we take our time to get this out to some people and start collecting data and make sure that we really got a handle on this, because there's going to be knockoffs, guys. Those who are currently still sort of in control of the so-called money, this is kind of threatening because it says, hey, you know, your money backed by debt isn't so valuable. We think we have something that the world would appreciate more than that. And so it's a little threatening if you're still holding on to the way things were. And so we want to be ready for that without reacting. Just stay steady and just play the game. Just keep playing the game and make ourselves cleaner and clearer, and keep tokenizing it, keep finding new ways to have that value recognized until the collective consciousness goes, hey, yeah, that's it. I want some of that kind of money or that kind of currency. And we'll just, you know, one partner at a time, come up with these new ways to bring each other up without debt, right? Without, you know, even proving yourself. So, all right. Thank you again for all your time, your love, your belief in yourself. And I'm gonna end the call now. I think there's plenty, unless, I guess I said, someone's got something they just really want to say, jump in right now. Aloha, everyone. Very good.
Aloha. Shine on, guys.
Thank you, Susan.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Yay, aloha. Chia, candle. There you are. Look at you. Sweet love. Thank you. Thanks for your love. Woo. It's happening. It's happening.
Yep. Awesome,
All right.
awesome.
I love it. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks for joining today. It was great.
This is Joey.
Oh, Joey. Hey, Joey. Oh, sweet little.
Yeah, it's my joy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be my flow.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got kittens. Kittens help me flow. Animals are great, aren't they? They're just, as Esther says, they're always in the flow.
Yeah, pure positive energy.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't fake it. And I think the
Can't
judges
fake it.
felt that. Maybe we can put a soul compass on them.
Yeah.
Their NFTs are gonna be quite good.
Yeah, I'm sure they would be. All right. Thanks, Matt. Good to see you. Hi, Kareem. Nice seeing you. Stan, so happy you were joining. Much love to you. Monica, just seeing all you guys. Have a great day. Okay, bowing out.